Yep, it is time for a meme build. Millions explosions and zoomy playstyle. Behold, this is Warcry Autobomber. I was looking around all of the Ascendancy classes and one node really caught my interest. Death Rattle, every time you Warcry all of the corpses around you explode. That sounds busted. So with just enough Warcry cooldown recovery speed from Ascendancy, Tree, and Tattoos, we are capable of hitting around 5 Warcries per second. First, to start the chain reaction of corpse explosion, we need to spawn a corpse. To help us with such a task, the Unearth is coming like a real hero. Unearth has one of the lowest cast times in the entire game, which make this a super comfortable skill to use. Let's talk about damage. Corpse explosion is a little tricky to scale. We are doing it mainly through scaling the life of the corpses we spawn from Unearth. Basic increased damage on a tree, and increasing the physical damage taken of the enemy through the vulnerability and pride. The star of the scaling for sure is Admonisher. It increased damage for 15% each time we have Warcried recently. This node alone is around 300 to 400 increased damage. We also have Spiritual Aid taken on a tree, so minion increase also does work on us. It's time to talk about the gear. Body armor is Skin of the Lords, where we put Unearth in. I'm pretty sure it's best in slot. Weapon is True Beauty with just 2 real mods. Since we are Endurance Stacker, we look for Endurance Charge implicit. I managed to find this bad boy for just 50 chaos at the time. LOL. But it is not best in slot, since pretty much every build now wants to play with the Svalin Shield, and this is not an exception, but well, I'm different. Not like the other exiles. We do have Defiance of Destiny and Amulet slot for the best recovery in game. Gloves, helmet, and boots are the most boring but at the same time important items in the build. Since we want to be badass with the whole body covered in tattoos, we are lacking basic resistance, strength, intelligence, and dexterity. So they are there to fill all of the gaps in the build. However, we also need them to have at least a little bit of base armor for boost to our physical damage mitigation. Rings are the most questionable part of our equipment. Thanks to the nature of the build, the downsides are not doing much. Just rings alone are 700 base life. It's better than Unnerf Cam's Heart. And with the minus cost craft, all of the skill we have are free. Even the Unearth with level 32. The true best in slot ring is for sure the base with maximum endurance charges, but well, I'm a poor exile and I'm not gonna buy that. We are playing with Forbidden Flame and Flesh with Unyielding Node. It's totally possible to play without them, but that 60 increase area of effect does make a difference. The honorable mention for sure is one medium jewel we are playing. This guy alone is providing us with Onslaught and all of the charges. But you have to remember to take Warcry Mastery for minimum Warcry power. So, what's the damage of the build? Well, Unearth level 32 with 60% increased life makes corpses that have around 140,000 base life. Path of Building is showing that each corpse will explode, dealing around 290,000 damage. We can have 12 corpses spawned at the same time, so each Warcry should deal around 3 million damage. If we multiply it by 6, since we Warcry that much every second, that would be equal to 18 million damage. But surely that is not the case. The true damage feels more like around 6 to 7 million damage per second. And that moves me to last part of the video. How are we capable to make Warcries go at the different time, since all of them have the same cooldown? It's the quality. All of the Warcries have different recovery rate, which makes them go at the different time. That's why we also have one auto exertion with quality, and one without. There is so much more space to improve the build. Svalin version sounds good, and throwing currency at this build for sure will bring the justice. This version is relatively tanky, but nothing to write a book about. I'm pretty sure it's possible to clear all of the content with it. Maybe not some of the Ubers and crazy rogue exiles, but still it slaps. The budget for this version is around 80 to 120 divines depending on the price of tattoos and forbidden jewels. As usual, this is by no means a cost-effective build, but just my own creation that I am proud of. If you are a good build maker, feel free to take a challenge of making this build better. For now, I am done with it. And for the last part, if you have any idea for a meme build that sounds good to you, feel free to write a comment. I do not mind taking inspiration from you guys. So, please leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.